Simone.
You know what? Because it's choppa, choppa, choppa style. Coming on the stage next, y'all know who it is. It's the High at Nine head honcho, the man known for smoking the best weed in the world wherever he goes. Cannabis industry's very own Kaiser Sose and Donald Trump's favorite pothead in the world, Jason Beck.
You know what? You might be really right about that.
The crowd goes wild.
You might be really right about that, Rico. You might be onto something today, just possibly. Well, I'll tell you what. Hey, and Adam, there's a picture in this article if you can grab it up if it's possible. Because let me tell you guys, man, it's the day after Christmas, and you know what? This is for all of the trappers out there heading out to Thailand, and and there's also the picture of the dude getting arrested because a Vietnamese student in Taipei was nabbed for transporting marijuana, you guys. A Vietnamese student surnamed Wu was caught utilizing an international parcel service to transport drugs from Vietnam to Taiwan, according to an Aviation Police Bureau and Taipei Customs Bureau announcement on Tuesday, December 26th. Authorities had seized 2 different parcels on July 20th containing what was billed as 17 cans of matcha green tea powder, which was a disguise to conceal the Class 2 narcotic marijuana. The drug weighed in at 1,168 grams and 1,002 grams, respectively. After checking parcel records, they found the recipient was located in Shrenking District, New Taipei City. They contacted the Taoyuan District Prosecutor's Office to investigate per CNA, and a task force preliminary investigation found that the recipient of the package was a man named Wu. Later, it was found that the consignee had signed for multiple international parcels and had actively tracked the status of such shipments. The police had monitored the individual for many days, finding that he was a Vietnamese student studying in Taiwan and employed on a part-time basis at a hot pot restaurant in Wanahua. It was surprising that Wu did not respond to the parcel service company's calls to pick up the package or sign for the goods. Well, duh. The police eventually decided to apprehend Wu when he left his residence. After investigation, it was found that he had participated in an online group in Vietnam to sell marijuana, and furthermore, he had searched for information on his mobile phone about how to smoke marijuana and how to sell it without being detected. I wonder if that was on ChatGPT. Wu eventually confessed that he had been part of a marijuana selling ring to help subsidize his rent and daily living expenses for just NT, which is the currency, 7,000 NT, which is basically 226 US dollars. He provided his cell phone number and address to receive the illicit package to forward it onward. And at the moment, the case has been transferred to the Taoyuan District Prosecutor's Office for investigation and prosecution on suspicion of violating the Narcotics Hazard Prevention Act. Well, it's not such a bright, shiny day after Christmas for this guy. But what do you guys have to say about this Taiwanese student who is trap-tastic?
I want to know if his weed was included in that survey.
What's that, Dot?
Was his weed that he was selling included in that last survey?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I bet you they didn't. I bet you they didn't. I bet you they didn't.
Thailand and Japan with the asterisks on Asia.
Yeah. I bet you prohibitionists they didn't quantify this, that's for sure.
I would vote for him for mayor because anybody who understands the fundamental connection between cannabis and hot pot is a friend of mine and an ally at the kitchen table.
Oh boy.
You know what? This is interesting because, you know, the whole Taiwan and China U.S. debate heating up, and apparently President Xi telling Joe Biden to stand down on Taiwan because Taiwan will be absorbed by the mother country. Like, this is interesting to see things heating up out there, how China will react to stuff like this, and if it's being traced to Vietnam, but it's going into Taiwan, and how they handle
that's probably what's happening, Rico. That's probably what's happening.
Yeah.
The Chinese government's getting all up in their shit and saying, "Yo, we're about to clamp down on all you foreigners coming into Taiwan to study and to go to school," and they're flexing a little bit, I bet.
All these westernized thinkers coming in there thinking that they're going to bring their, that the devil's lettuce over here. Like China wants to export that shit. They don't want nothing imported.
I mean,
they're probably going to start making some examples of people.
Yeah, I mean, definitely more sinister than that probably when we're talking about the Chinese government. But we'll see. I think that this guy is like one of many millions of people in Southeast Asia that's like, hey, it's just weed. It grows in Vietnam, grows in Laos. I mean, we know that there's a huge export from America to Thailand, but there's a lot of like local Southeast Asian cannabis farmers and cultivation as well. So, this is a form of currency. If we start looking at it like it's a form of currency, then we won't have these issues. And I think that's kind of the thing. This is trade. This is international trade. This is an agricultural commodity. We need to start adopting those principles when we're kind of disseminating this information globally.
On the other hand, like it kind of makes me take interest in what the trap looks like in China right now.
Oh, I can tell you what the trap looks like in China. I mean, they
trapping cards, bro. They're in that card trapping biz. And Spice might have calmed down a little bit for him though.
I mean, I bought some weed in China one time, and a lot of it actually comes from guys who are kids of different
diplomats and stuff.
Yeah, different diplomats, exactly, different diplomats, and that's where I got mine from. Is they just walk into China, no problem, no search, no nothing, boom, there's the package there, get it in, and from my understanding with the Chinese government is as long as you're not selling it to actually Chinese and you're only selling it to tourists, then they're not going to bother you. But the moment you start selling it to their actual citizens, that's when you're going to get a problem.
Well, if it was that simple, the people doing it wouldn't be the ones who have that diplomatic immunity, right?
I don't know. I mean, when I was in China, I literally was smoking everywhere, and in the Chinese culture, cannabis is not prevalent. They just seen it as like typical smoking. The people that will snitch on you will be the foreigners that actually know what weed smells like.
I just had this vision of like you as Kung Fu Panda.
I walked up to a cop
and going through the temples and waddling around, just like, oh my God, that was delicious. Little cloud wafting. You're like, I'm good. I know a diplomat, son.
I pulled the Todd Dankin while I was out there, and I actually walked up to the cop and I had him light my cigar and everything, and it was no problem.
Nice.
Jason Beck has a Weibo and a TikTok account. Put that on it.
Oh boy.
Kung Fu Beck.
Yeah, that's right.
He gets locked up. He's like, Dana, what are you doing tomorrow?
You guys are so crazy.
No, I can't make it to New Hampshire, but listen,
It's actually Maine, Yarrow.
Yeah.
What was it Maine? Yeah, my Maine man. My bad.
Man. It's where they have good weed at, Yarrow.
Shout out Maine. Shout out all the weed growers and the hash makers in Maine.
Yes.
Big ups
to social credits. He doesn't have enough social credits left to travel to China anymore.
Oh,
He can't get sponsored.